One day I'm riding my bike in Brooklyn and I'm like, what is this? Why is there a line?
It doubles as my garage. I'm a little camera shy. I walked into a bakery and tasted some bread. I just thought, I have to learn how to do this. I went back the next day and asked for a job.
It's the best croissant that I've ever had. And that's how I literally discovered Nick & Sons.
Funny enough, 10 days before we opened, I had never made a croissant in my life. I was a photographer and director before I became a baker. One day, I was on vacation with my family, and I tasted some bread in Iceland, and I was like, I have to learn how to do this. So I went back the next day and asked for a job in the bakery. I was like, oh, do you want some free labor this summer? The guy behind the counter was like, sure, yeah, why not? Funny enough, that is the man who taught me how to bake.
He's the one that you got the job from in Iceland. God, that's crazy.
Yeah. I was just half expecting to be handed a broom when I walked in the door, and the first thing they said when I walked in was, okay, make cinnamon rolls.
Did they think that you had previous experience?
No. They were like, okay, so we're gonna show you how to roll them, and that's gonna be your job for a couple days, is just rolling cinnamon rolls. You wanna go?
Let's do it.
Big motions are a little bit better than small ones, right?
This is, for me, it's the best croissant that I've ever had.
Thank you.
Right? And that's how I discovered you, right? One day I'm riding my bike in Brooklyn and I'm like, what is this? Why is there a line? I should check it out. And that's how I literally discovered Nick & Sons.
Funny enough, 10 days before we opened, I had never made a croissant in my life. On our Instagram, I keep an original picture of that first croissant I'd made, and it looks terrible.
So you just went in with a hope and kind of like a dream, and you said, I'm gonna make this work no matter what.
Yeah,
you were hungry.
Yeah, by hook or by crook. I was gonna make it happen.
Was there ever a moment in time where you were like, actually, I might have bitten off more than I can chew?
I wasn't sleeping, I was really stressed, I had no idea what I was doing. I was still shooting, I was a mess, but yeah, I was probably 25 or 30 pounds lighter. Yeah, I was really like not in a good health place.
Sure. I mean, working that amount will do that to you, especially when you own a business, you still have a job, you're working full time, you want something to succeed, and you know you still have to pay the bills. And so both things need to exist at the same time. At what point were you like, okay, I want to fully immerse myself into this world?
I knew I had fallen in love with bakery life when I was in Iceland. Like that was just kind of like, that was really what drew me to it. That and the sense of community that was rallying around the bakery there. Like that was really what I fell in love with. And I was like, man, my neighborhood needs this. This is 2018, so obviously pre-COVID. My business partner, who's also Nick, we'd known each other through our kids, was interested in maybe investing, but I was like, oh, you know, I need more than just an investor, I need a partner. He was a little reluctant in the beginning. I had Whole Foods on the line as a possible wholesale customer. I'd picked up a couple small accounts and we were about to start with a big hotel in the city doing their daily breads. And Nick and I were like, let's just do this. I've been super lucky with my team, and yes, I'm a pretty chill manager. We should be having fun. And also something I learned from August, always having a good time. The team is always like, you know, laughing and having a good time. We're working really hard.
You have quite an extensive menu.
Yeah.
How do you go about curating that?
Our menu kind of follows the seasons. I'm more of a savory guy, so like a lot of the stuff in here is savory. And our sweet stuff, because I'm not a super sweet guy, I generally balance the sweets with salt, and you know, it's not a real high sweetness. We stick to these very core things. So we have our pastry dough, we have our brioche dough for cinnamon rolls, and we have our sourdoughs. And everything kind of spins off from those.
You've definitely created a community vibe and a feel, right? Like every time I'm here, everyone's talking, everyone's chatting. What do you see that evolving into in the future?
I like it here. I like the way things are right now, and things can change. But I think that really focusing on our brand, our identity, our product, and our team, the right thing will present itself.
I've realized this in my process of like scaling and climbing the ladder. Sometimes like you don't even enjoy getting to where you want it to be. Sometimes you don't have to go further. You can just be happy in the space that you've created. And I think you've created something really unique and amazing. What's your favorite thing on the menu?
I have to say the loaf of bread that I tasted first in Iceland is probably still my favorite. That's our seeded sourdough. We do the same one that I tasted that day. Croissant-wise, I love the za'atar croissant.
If you know, you know. Look at the pro and then look at the novice. It is a labor look.
Yeah.
I know Nick and Nick,
yes.
but Where's the sons part come from?
We met through our sons. Nick Brophy, my partner, has 5 children, and I've got 2. I had named the bakery before he fully came on board, and we just decided we'd keep the name. He felt like he'd done everything he wanted to do with his career, in finance anyway, and he became a stay-at-home dad. I was a photographer, didn't work all that often, you know, a few days a week, maybe. We became fast friends. We were hanging out with our kids.
Isn't it wild how someone just walks into your life and all of a sudden is probably one of your best friends?
You want to score it like so.
Whoa.
A little less pressure.
Oh.
Oop, there went the blade.
Finesse, Adrian. It's called finesse. Be gentle. Let's try this again.
There you go. Step aside.
In terms of food, where you grew up, because you grew up in Nebraska and then you came to New York. How old were you when you came to New York?
2021.
2021. Was food a big part of growing up in your life?
I'm from a big family, so, you know, if you weren't eating fast, you didn't get seconds. There was always a big family dinner at my grandma's on Sunday nights. And so, yeah, food was a big part of my life. I don't think I really recognized or was thinking about food until later in life, though. Moving to New York and discovering what Dominican food was. Was this just like life-altering experience.
Of course.
You know?
Feel very comfortable tossing your hand in an oven.
Yeah.
Look at the core strength on this guy.
Voila. See how that one got a little hot in the back?
That was the one in the back, yeah.
Yep. There we go.
These are beautiful.
All right.
These wobbly ones are definitely mine, right? Like, look at this beautiful art, so you can tell that was yours. Mine, a little bit drunk.
Yeah. This is my favorite butter. Got a little cow on it.
I like that. Okay. Just gonna let
No
that.
such thing as too much.
I'm very much in the same mindset. It's starting to melt. What are you, as a person who loves food, go to eat? What are like some of your favorite spots?
In Brooklyn?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Anywhere, because I mean, you do have 2 locations, not
Yes.
just we have
Yeah,
Brooklyn and Jersey, but
I remember moving to New York in '99, and like the place to be was Balthazar. Was like
Oh my God, yeah.
Like I mean, I worked on Crosby Street back in the day, and being able to afford a Balthazar croissant coffee like once a week back then, like was heaven for me. Even to this day, like I celebrate my birthdays there.